Good evening and welcome to Empower ME Radio with Erica Gordon, where moms everywhere become empowered, feel better, stronger, and confident about who they're intended to be by taking small steps each day toward the life they fully desire and deserve. Erica's a mom expert on a mission to show moms of all ages and stages of motherhood how simple it is to be their number one priority and go after their dreams without sacrificing their family and feeling guilty. A number one best-selling international author, the CEO, founder of Defining Success LLC, an empowerment organization for women, the founder of Moms with Dreams, a support network for moms, and a mom of four awesome kids who rock. Erica built an empire and earned her master's degree as a divorced mom working full-time. And now, here's Erica Gordon.
Good evening, everyone. I am so excited to be here tonight with you. We have a great show planned and awesome guests. And just wanted to share a few things with you. I'm super excited because I'm just getting back from the Get Radical conference. I'm not sure if you've ever heard of it, but it was an annual conference that's been running for the last 6 years. And it's for women, mainly for, it's geared towards women who are looking to make radical change in their lives. Either you ready to start your business or do something different that you've never done before. It's a place where women go to be empowered, to meet other women, successful women of all walks of life. And it was just a really great experience. I had the pleasure of actually meeting some lovely people that you'll be hearing soon on my show and sharing with you what they do and how they're empowering other women as well. So what else? I'm super excited. Today was a big day for me. I know that some of you may know that I'm working on my first compilation, which is Motherhood Dreams Success. You Can Have It All. And today is a super big day because we actually released the cover. So if you go to my Facebook page, facebook.com/Erica Gordon, you will see the beautiful cover that I just released into the world. Very excited about this project. It's been a long time coming. It's been inspired by my personal journey as a mom, starting off as a young mom and really working hard to achieve my dreams without, at the same time fighting the mom guilt that I talk about and share with my clients so often. So it's really a lot of things going on, lots of excitement, and I'm just waiting for the day. It'll be here in a couple of more months, and you'll get to see what I'm talking about. And it's all about empowering you, my audience, all the women, even the women who aren't moms. I focus on moms, but I'm really all about empowering women and just showing them that at any stage in your life, no matter what your circumstances look like, you still can achieve your dreams. That as long as you're breathing, as long as you believe in yourself, as long as you know what you want, you can go after it, and you shouldn't feel guilty, and you don't have to ask for permission. So that's my soapbox for today. I wanted to share that with you. I'm super excited, and I'd love to hear your feedback on what you're thinking about how my book cover is looking so far. I mean, this is it, whether you like it or not. But I'd love to hear your feedback. Like I said, it's on Facebook, and you can check it out there. So now let's get started. I have a lovely guest, super special guest tonight with me. Her name is Sarah Adderson, and Sarah is one of my co-authors in my up-and-coming book. Super happy about that. Sarah was at the conference with me over the weekend, so we'll probably ask Sarah to share some takeaways that she took from the experience as well. And Sarah Adderson, she's a speaker, a legacy strategist, and author of the forthcoming book, The Single Mompreneur Bliss Blueprint, 7 Steps to Activate the Superpower in Your Heart. She empowers women entrepreneurs to charge with their worth so they can leave a legacy for their family and the world. Sarah uplevels a woman's inner worth and transforms it into tangible wealth. She's also the host and founder of the Mom in Chief Lounge, a free weekly empowerment session for busy single moms. I am so excited, and now I'd love to introduce to you Ms. Sarah Adderson.
Hi, Erica. Thank you so much for having me. This is an honor to join you here.
Oh, you're welcome. Thanks for joining us. Happy to have you. So, Sarah, before we get started, would you like to share, as I mentioned with the audience, we were both together over the weekend at the Get Radical conference. And was that your first time attending?
Yes, that was my first time attending the Get Radical, and I made it a top priority because I heard that it was the last year that they were doing it, and I knew I had to make it.
Me too. It was my first time as well, and I was blown away by all of what we saw. So real quick, I know we have a lot to cover, and I want to get, the audience, I want to share you, but I'd love for you to share a little bit about your takeaway and what did you get out of that experience?
I think the main thing was just being a solopreneur, solo mompreneur. We can often, and myself included, we often feel like we're in it by ourselves. And even though I'm a part of a couple of groups and masterminds, still it was good to have the camaraderie of 100, or not even 100, hundreds of fellow mompreneurs and entrepreneurs. And so I left it, instead of feeling like a solopreneur, I actually felt so loved. And so I just felt so inspired and comforted in knowing that, what I'm going through and experiencing, so many other women are also.
Wow, I love that. So love that. Thank you for sharing that, Sarah. I feel the same way. It was great. I walked away with a newfound sense of reassurance and confidence in myself as well. So let's talk about you. First, I am curious to know, what is a legacy strategist?
Legacy strategist. Well, our business is more than just a business. For me and for you and so many women, it's about leaving a legacy, but it's for women. So a woman's legacy, we have to choose what we want it to be. So that's why I am a legacy strategist, because I work with women entrepreneurs. So our legacy is more than just a business and just profits. It's, no matter where you are, your legacy can be love, it can be compassion, maybe it's power, but what do you want to leave in the world? What impact do you want to carry on after you're gone?
Wow, that's powerful. And so it sounds like you do a lot of work with the mindset.
Yes.
Is that what you do? Okay. So how do you go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Oh, you're fine. Well, everything starts with your mindset. So, whatever your concept, whatever your business is, we have to start there first and uncover any hidden barriers and beliefs that are limiting you. And then we focus on wealth. And wealth isn't just financial, although that is part of what I focus on. It can also be spiritual or emotional. And oftentimes we forget that. And I also help women to, really build your business online, because that's the main way that it's going to carry on without you. Your business, if you're a solopreneur or entrepreneur, it has to be more than just you. You can't be the only product.
Right. Wow. I love that. And I love how you say, you're welcome. And I love how you said that wealth is not just about money. Sometimes I think we forget that, and we get so caught up in, I don't feel successful because I'm not wealthy, and attribute wealth to money and things of that nature. But you're right. It's so much more than that. And you also work with a woman's inner worth. How do you help transform a woman if she's feeling low on self-esteem or low on confidence? How do you work with her in that area?
Well, it's really important that any woman accept themselves completely. So we have so many outside factors that are determining how we feel about ourselves, and most of them aren't coming from us. It's our parents, it's our boss, just interactions we've had throughout our lives. So what I do is help women to accept everything about themselves, the good and the not so good, because I don't say bad, and strengths and lesser strengths, because I don't say weaknesses. They all work together for our good. And I'll give you a quick example. When I was younger, I was called selfish. And I carried that with me for so long. I just tried not to be selfish so badly. And then, it came to a point where in my spiritual journey, that I accepted that, yes, I am selfish. And it's a good thing, because being selfish is what helps me to take a nap when I'm tired, or helps me get my mani-pedi. Selfish is needed and so necessary. And we all are selfish, and it's okay.
And I think, and I agree with you so much there, because, one of the things that I teach my clients a lot is, a lot of times we talk about self-care. And you're right. Women attribute taking care of themselves and following their dreams and doing what they want to do as being selfish, but it's not. It's very important. How do you help a woman to see that? Like, if she's, very altruistic and used to giving so much of herself, how do you take her from that place to feeling, feeling proud and confident about being what we're calling selfish?
Well, one thing I do is walk them through a quick exercise, and everyone listening can participate as well. So you too, Erica. So
okay.
I want you to think of, let's say, 3 people that you admire or envy. Just think of 3 people. They can be famous. They can, be alive or not living, whatever the case is. But 3 famous people, and list a couple of qualities about them or what you really admire about them, and, make it big. If it's, Oprah or whoever it is, go big, and write that down. Just list a few things, a few adjectives or words. You have some, Erica?
Yes, I do.
Okay. Do you want to share yours?
Sure, I'd love to share. Okay. So I have, these are kind of boring, but I have successful, powerful, intelligent.
Okay.
Did you want more than that, or?
Nope, that's good. Okay, so whatever person you were thinking of, those qualities describe them, but they also describe you. You are successful. You are powerful. You are extremely intelligent. So what? You're welcome. But what we think about someone else is a direct reflection of ourselves. So you may think that it's not on the level of that other person, and it may not be, but that's okay. But that success is within you, and it's within your reach. We just have to tap into it and remove the layers. So once you see the vision and you know that you possess all of those qualities, because so often we focus on the negatives and what we're not, and, all that other stuff gets in the way, that we forget how fabulous and wonderful we are.
You're right. Well, part of that is because, we're not taught to focus on our strengths. Or even when it starts, back as far as grade school. And I know I do this. I'm guilty of this sometimes, too, with my own children. I'll look at their grades, and, if I see 90s or high 80s or 100s, I'll just like, oh, that's good, skim right by it. But if I see a low grade, I'm like, well, what happened here? And why did you do?
Right.
Instead of focus, So I catch myself doing that. And so it becomes almost second nature for us to focus on what we're lacking versus what we have and, have full abundance of and can use as something, strategies to get us to the next level.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, especially in school, it's so prevalent. We focus on what we missed, or, even if it's a 98 out of 100, like, oh, I missed 2. I wanted those 2 points. I wasn't at 100. So it doesn't even matter on what level it is. But, yes, we are trained, you're so right, to only focus on what we did wrong, and instead of celebrating our strengths.
So I'm guessing that in your programs that you offer to your clients, you take them, well, let me not make assumptions. Do you offer programs, or how do you serve your clients? Sure.
I have a digital product, which is Activate Your Power, so you can walk, that unleashes what's the inner you and the powerful you, in whatever shape or form that is. So we have a digital product, and then I also work with clients either in a group format or one-on-one.
Okay, cool. So for some of our audience members who may not be familiar with digital products, how does that work?
It's an actual home study program where you'll receive video and or audios in your email, and then you can go ahead and complete the course on your own at your own pace. And it is all the way digital. You have access to it, and you go from there.
Okay, so it's completely on your own and at your own pace. Okay, very good. That sounds interesting. So I see here that you encourage women to look into their bags, BAGS. Can you explain what you mean by that?
Sure. Our bags, and we all have them, just some of them are different sizes. You know, we may have clutches, and some of us may have oversized handbags. But bags stands for our blame, our anger, our guilt, and our shame.
Mm-hmm.
And so whatever that can be around our childhood, towards our parents, relationships in our lives, the power, our power, lies in looking into those and uncovering the true root of why we feel that way.
Hmm. So is that something you would do as an exercise as part of a program that you're teaching or working with a client, or is that just something they can come to you and say, hey, Sarah, I know I have these issues, and I'd really like to uncover or get to the root of them? Is that something they can do, just, work with you on that particular area?
Yes, you can do it individually, but it's a lot easier if you have someone like myself to walk you through it. So it is better to really do that working with a coach, either myself or someone else. But I do walk my clients through that, and they have had tremendous, results as far as the freedom and just letting go of all that heaviness and that tension and the low self-esteem. Everything comes away when you look into your bags.
Mm. And so how long does this process take usually? Say I come to you and I say, Sarah, I'm really suffering with this. I'd love to work with you. Can you help me look into my bags? Is there a time frame that usually, like I'll know that in about 90 days I can expect this or that, or how does that work?
Well, no one can guarantee anything, but it really depends on you. What we're doing and what I work with clients on is heart work. So HEART, not hard work. So it does require effort. However, you have to be willing to go into this place that you've never gone before, because that's where your strength is. And because you've never been there before, things are going to come up. You're going to go to a new level, and it's going to be uncomfortable. But on the other side of it, it's going to be so beautiful and so freeing. So it'll differ for everyone,
mm-hmm.
but the more effort and more hard work you put into it, then the better you'll be.
Mm. And just listening to you speak, I can say, I can understand why you would say it's better to have a coach, because that process seems like it could take you potentially to some very dark places. Do you agree?
Yes, it can be, but they look dark on the outside, but once you go in them and you discover the truth about them, they no longer are frightful or scary or anything like that. So once you shed light on those dark places, they can't hurt you anymore.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. That is so true. And that's true with fear in general. When you're afraid of
mm-hmm.
something, it's like it's all leading up to taking that first step, and then as soon as you take that step, you're like, wow, it wasn't really that hard.
Right. Like when you saw that shadow or that coat rack in your room, like it looks like a monster, but once you turn on the lights, you're like, okay, it's just a coat rack.
Exactly. Yeah, you're right. That's a great concept, for people to remember. When you have fear, you can think of fear as darkness, and as soon as you turn
mm-hmm.
on the light, the fears are gone.
Yeah. I always describe fear as, it's a lie. And to counter any lie, you have to do it with the truth. And once you replace it with the truth, the fear is, I'm not worthy, or no one's going to listen to me. Well, that's not true. People listen to you all the time, and you are worthy, because you wouldn't be here today if you did not have a purpose.
Absolutely. Speaking of purpose, how did you discover your purpose?
my purpose was in my spiritual journey, just connecting the dots and looking. One step I did was to look back at the theme of my life, the consistent theme, and that has always been teaching and helping. So, and I've worked in corporate and training and development, and I mean, even when I was in like elementary school, I was a teacher's pet, and helping other students and helping the teachers. So, once I started connecting the dots, it was like, oh, okay, that makes sense. And you don't notice it until you do start doing that hard work and putting the pieces together. But from there, I discovered that I'm just women's empowerment in general, and it's just I teach what I had to learn. So that's where my purpose came from. That's why I'm here. Everything that I've been through, I didn't always have high self-esteem, high confidence and self-worth, but through my journey, I was able to get to a place where I can now teach and make it so much quicker for anyone else that I work with. You don't have to go through all the years and the pain and junk that I went through. I can shorten that for you.
That's amazing. And you actually answered my next question, which I was going to ask you, is your business, because it started to sound like you developed your business out of your personal experiences or your passion. And I'm starting to see so much more of this. Women are stepping out of their routines and moving away from their corporate jobs and starting businesses that are passion-based or born out of something they've gone through in their life, and now they feel as though it's their duty, it's their purpose, their mission to teach others and empower them.
Yes, absolutely. I mean, our purpose is, a lot of times we have all these complicated definitions and, we try to make it complicated. It's not that complicated to determine your purpose. Really look at your gifts, what you're naturally good at. That helps. Look at how you can help other people, and look at how you can act with love, doing all three.
Mm.
So
can you repeat that so we can make sure that we all got that again? That was really simple. I love that definition. Go ahead.
Sure. So my formula for determining your purpose is to look at your spiritual gifts, which are the things that you do naturally. If that's, if all your friends come to you and are always asking for advice, then that could be it. Or you're always asked to do your friend's hair, whatever it is that comes so naturally and so easily to you, that would be part of your spiritual gifts. So your spiritual gifts plus how can you help others plus acting with love, because it all needs to come from your heart. And that's your purpose.
Yeah. That was simple.
Mm-hmm.
I know there has to be, I know there are several women or even men who listen in thinking to themselves, wow, that was really easy. Because you're right, we do overcomplicate the purpose there. I mean, there's tons of books and all kinds of stuff about finding your purpose and what's the purpose. Mm-hmm. And I'm sure you've experienced this with your clients. Maybe when they come to you at first, they don't have a clue as to what their purpose is.
Yes, exactly. And I mean, even playing as a child, you can look at that. Cause I personally, I would have school with my Barbie dolls and all that and my stuffed animals. So, you can go back that far. What did you like to do? Did you take things apart or, and put them back together? It's always been in us. It's the purpose. Our purpose it came in with us. It just got a little cloudy and, covered up by society and relationships and all sorts of things, but it's always been with us.
Wow, you just brought back memories, Sarah, because when you were talking about playing teachers, well, we used to say, I'm going to go play school now, and I would line all my dolls up in the front row, and I'd have a whole process of, teaching the class. That's funny.
And now you're a coach. Which is a teacher, so absolutely.
It's true. I mean, you're right. What we dreamed about and what we like to do as a child is really, that inner child is still there.
Oh, yes. We need to find her or find him.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. I agree.
we really have to unlearn, what we've been taught. Like you said earlier, we've been taught to look at the negative. So finding your purpose is really about unlearning. So unlearning what you've been told about you, like I mentioned when I was called selfish, that's I had to unlearn that. Mm-hmm. And also accept that, selfish isn't bad.
Mm-hmm. Like you had to redefine it and make it fit you,
Exactly.
Like you showed.
And it can be, body parts, or we all have a part of our body that we don't necessarily love. It's not our favorite, but try to find a way to love it and how it's served you and done you a good job. I can say mine, my stomach. It's not my favorite. There's no six pack there. However, it served a lovely home for my son for 41 weeks and 25 hours. Not that I was
right. Yes, you're so right. I mean, everything has its purpose. So before we move a little ahead of this, I wanted to give you an opportunity to share with the audience. Is there a place where they can go to get the heart work if they wanted to work on that?
Sure. It's actually a free gift on my website, so they can go to expandyourheart.org. So expandyourheart.org, and you can sign up to begin your free heart work e-course.
That's awesome. And if they wanted to connect with you, can they connect with you there too, or is there another place that they can contact you?
They can connect with me on the website. They can email me, Sarah, at expandyourheart.org. Twitter, SRADERSON, so SR Aderson, my last name. Mm-hmm. And then Facebook, they can connect with me at Facebook.com/expandyourheart. As you mentioned, I'm also the host and founder of the Mom and Chief Lounge, so they can check me out there. And that's momnchieflounge.com.
Yay! And that was a nice segue, Sarah. Great job. Okay, audience, I did not prompt Sarah to do that, but I do want to talk about the Mom and Chief Lounge because that's actually how we met.
Yes. It is.
Yeah, I'm super excited about that too. A mutual friend of mine, everyone listening, I'll give you a little background and I'll let Sarah share. But a mutual friend of ours contacted me and she said, I'm speaking on this platform. You have to check this out. It's empowerment for single moms, and I think you'd really, really enjoy it. So I went there, and the rest is history. So it's a really great, it's a great concept. It's fascinating, actually. So what inspired you? Well, you're welcome. Well, first, can you tell us a little bit about it, and then I'd love for you to share what inspired you to create this.
Sure. The Mom and Chief Lounge is a free weekly empowerment session for single moms. Specifically, it's 30 minutes in video format. You can watch it online in the comfort of your home or at work. And every week there is a new topic and a new presenter. So you'll leave with actionable tips that you can implement in your life immediately. And those topics range from mindset to wellness to parenting with results, just so many different topics. Everything that single moms deal with, which is everything everyone else deals with.
Mm-hmm. Yes. And so I was able to catch a segment on financial tips, how to be more frugal, and that was very powerful because some of the tips she shared were things that we kind of take for granted, like I don't remember exactly right now, but they were simple tips that we could implement. Just like you said, it was easy and wasn't overwhelming, and that's what I love about the Mom and Chief Lounge because they are very easy to implement. They don't take up a lot of time. And that's key too. 30-minut segments is great because, sometimes you don't have a lot of time. And then
time is precious.
Yes. And so so it's every Wednesday, right?
Yes, every Wednesday at 9 o'clock. And it's available for free for 48 hours. So just in case you can't make it Wednesday at 9, then you'll get the replay when you go to momandchieflounge.com and sign up.
Awesome. Now, how often do you change your speakers? Do you rotate them every month, or?
We have not duplicated a speaker yet, so knock on wood here. So every week there is a new topic and a new presenter, so try to keep it fresh. And, I mean, they're handpicked, so I care about the topics, and I care about everyone that's viewing and listening to the presentations, the empowerment sessions. So I'm making sure that you guys get the best.
Absolutely. And what I loved about it was, I think you introduce them, and then you have, it's like a little webinar presentation at front, right?
Mm-hmm. Yes. So it's, you can view it, and it looks like, PowerPoint slides, but you can hear the speaker, and there's interaction with myself as well.
Mm-hmm. That's kind of cool, guys. So when you go to the Mom and Chief Lounge, you get a little bit of Sarah, you get a little bit of hands-on training, and then you get the speaker. So, and you really do walk away with great tips that can help you empower your life. It's a great format. So if they, we have a lot of mompreneurs in the audience, and we have aspiring mompreneurs as well. And, women just who are interested in getting out there speaking. If someone's listening now and she was interested in becoming a speaker on your Mom and Chief Lounge platform, how should she go about contacting you?
She can contact me at momandchieflounge.com or email me either Sarah at expandyourheart.org or Sarah at momandchieflounge.com, either one. And then after that, we'll set up a brief conversation where we can chat and see if it'll work for both of us.
Awesome. So now, I don't know if we talked about this. We talked about what it is, but what inspired you to create the Mom and Chief Lounge?
Well, my personal experience, I am a single mom. I have a 4-year-old named Caleb. And just, becoming a single mom, it was not what I planned. However, my son was absolutely, planned and what I wanted. So I was determined that no matter what, being a single mom was not going to be a limitation. I just firmly believe that being a single mom, that situation does not have to be a limitation in any way, shape, or form. You can still start a business. I started a business as a single mom. I work from home as a single mom. I'm able to travel to conferences where, I met you last weekend. You can do anything. And it starts in the mind, believing that you can. So I really want to dispel the myth. We're not statistics. We're not whatever bad names, people want to call us as single moms. It's not something to be degraded or feel bad about. If we couldn't handle it, then we would not have been given the blessing of being a mother on our own. And we're not on our own. We have so many people willing and able to help us at any moment.
Absolutely. Do you find that when women come to you, do they have a hard time asking for help? Because I think that's what holds us back a lot of times, too.
Yes. Especially as a single mom, and not just a single mom, I mean, women in general, we carry so much on our shoulders, and we keep it inside of us, and very, very rarely we share it or ask for help, because we view asking for help as a sign of weakness, and it's really a sign of strength, because no one can do anything by themselves. We weren't put here to do that. The 6 degrees of separation, there's a reason. Everything goes in a circle. So we're meant to work together. And your family doesn't just have to be related to you. You can create your family however you want to create it.
Mm-hmm. I agree. And I think that one of the biggest things that we need as moms, single moms, married moms, whatever kind of mom you are, is support.
Yes.
That's so important.
Absolutely.
And that's one of the things that I love about the Mom and Chief Lounge, because even if you're not able to connect, maybe you haven't found that that support group yet, you can still count on every Wednesday night. And you're going to get something that's empowering, and you'll connect with someone, the speaker, who may have a community for you to join, or just more information to keep you going. especially in those moments when you feel like giving up.
Yes. And you know that it's there and readily available for you. And then we have a great interactive community on Twitter and on Facebook at Mom and Chief Lounge as well.
Okay. So let's talk a little bit about your Mom and Chief Lounge community.
Yes.
Is that open to anyone, or do you have to be a member of, you have to be a client?
Nope. It's open to anyone. The Mom and Chief Lounge, the group on Facebook, the page on Facebook is open to anyone, and you can go and interact. And also, once you do sign up to attend the weekly empowerment sessions, you can leave a comment below the video and interact that way as well.
Okay. Awesome. So say that I'm a single mom and I get married. Can I still hang out in the Mom and Chief Lounge?
Sure. Because once a single mom, you always can relate to that experience. It doesn't leave you. Mm-hmm. And if anything, it's made you stronger. So, yes, it's open to anyone, but it is specifically for single moms because I just felt that was such a underserved and neglected area, target market.
Mm-hmm. And so, Sarah, I'd love to spend a few moments just honoring you because as a single mom, it's really difficult to just do the things that we have to do on a regular basis to keep ourselves going and to manage our lives. But to go and then start a business on your own as a single mom and be able to homeschool your son, is that you do homeschool, right?
Yes, I homeschool him as well, yes.
I mean, that's amazing. I don't know. I just know that I'm sure you get this all the time. How do you do it? What do you do? What's your secret? Can we just spend a few minutes, in this space for a moment? Because I have so much admiration for you. I'm a single mom too, but you're welcome. I already know that I'm never homeschooling. That's just not my thing. So,
right.
Can we just spend a little bit of time talking about how do you manage being home and then homeschooling and that whole thing, because it could be a little bit overwhelming at times, right?
Yes, it can. It can if you let it. Well, the first thing is I don't claim to be or try to be perfect. That's just not in my vocabulary. I am perfectly imperfect is what I say. I have a general structure and guideline, but that changes, and I have to be flexible. Like I said, my son is 4, so he's a toddler, and anyone that has a toddler knows, best laid plans do not always work with them. So I have to be flexible. Nap times are key, very, very critical. Mm-hmm. And, we make it work as best we can. Some days are better than others. Asking for help is important. I try to, and I'm in Atlanta, so there are, fortunately for us, a lot of homeschool groups and activities that we can participate in. So make sure that, he gets around other children and go from there. I schedule when it's time for me to talk with someone, then he knows that it's my time. Or if it goes a little longer, then I'll have to ask for help and get someone that can keep him.
Okay. That's what I was actually going to ask you. How do you manage running your business while your son's home all day and you're homeschooling?
Well, homeschooling, we kind of break it up. It's not all day. So usually we spend the mornings or depending on if we have field trips or something, then it'll be the afternoon. But I try to keep it to a couple of hours. And it's, I guess, the unschooling homeschool, it's not so much formalized. I try to focus mainly on his interest, and we go from there. But he is thriving in it, and he's doing very well. So I'm happy.
Well, he has a great mommy. I wouldn't expect anything less.
Oh, thanks.
Oh, you're welcome. It's true. You really are spectacular. I hope that I'm sure that you do this, but I hope that you do take time to honor yourself and really recognize how special you are with all that you do. And with that, I'd love to know if you want to share, how did you get to the point of wanting to homeschool?
Well, when I left corporate, it was not well, before I left, it was not a good experience for me. You know, I'm sure a lot of people can relate. There was a change in management, and the hours were getting just too crazy. And so I was going to work, and I was putting my time in and doing the best I could. You know, I was fully focused and committed when I was at work. However, there was a part of me that really wanted to be home with my child. You know, I did not want anyone else to raise my son. And that was just, you know, if there was a way, and praise to God, you know, if there was a way that I could be home with him, I wanted to be home with him. And, you know, yeah. So actually my position was eliminated or downsized, and I could have stayed, you know, with the company, but I took it as an answer to my prayer.
Were you afraid? Like, did you feel any fear when you made that decision not to go or to leave the corporate?
Of course. Yes, I did. I was, you know, scared. I had no idea where I was headed. I was excited, but scared because it was completely unknown. You know, it's different when it's just you. But, you know, as a mother and a single mother, it was, oh, my goodness, what am I doing? But there was a part where I knew that it was the right thing for me, for us.
So had you been running your business for a while, or was it still fairly new?
I had been doing it, you know, at the same time, kind of juggling both. So it was still new, but I had started some of the work before.
Okay. So you pretty much got it to a place where you knew that it was sustainable, and that if you walked away from your corporate job, you'd be able to still provide for you and your son?
No, nope.
No?
Not at all.
No. Wow. Okay. So
nope.
All right.
It was a total face walk. Yeah. No. You know, it was in the bare bones startup phase, and you know, the website, the shingle was up, and nobody had really started coming yet. So no, this was a leap of faith of, you know, and that my direction and guidance would appear. No, I can't. Nope. Wow. I wish it was that easy where I could say, yeah, no, I had all this planned out, and I knew, and I had, you know, my business plan and all that stuff laid out, and investors. Nope, didn't have that.
Well, no, this is great. You know why? Because the advice that we usually hear is, well, stay at your corporate job until you build your business up. You know, it takes about 2 to 5 years before you're in a place where you can make the transition, and then you move into it. And then, you know, you wonder, like, okay, how many people actually do that? But I personally don't really know anyone who's done the opposite. It's always, so it's great to hear that your success and you've done this and you've taken that leap as a single mom, because that's huge. That's tremendous. So what advice would you give a woman who's sitting on the other end of this call, and she's listening and she's thinking to herself, you know, she has that burning desire, she has that dream that she's set aside, and it's there, and she knows it's there, and she keeps trying to put it out, but it won't go out. How would you encourage her? What would you say?
Well, I'm not telling anyone to just, you know, pick up and leave their job. Like, I'm not telling you that. I will tell you to, if you know that and you feel a deep desire, and you just, you know that there's something bigger for you, for your family, that you're supposed to do in this world, then just honor that and start wherever you can. So if you're passionate about baking or cooking or whatever that is, start while you're on your job. That's fine. And don't see your job as a barrier to you. You know, again, whatever your situation is, it's not a limitation. Your job, your company, they're your secret investor. They're funding your dreams. So it's not a bad thing. We like them. You know, keep them as long as you can. And, you know, make sure you start small and just get out there. You don't have to have the perfect website. You don't have to have whatever, the glossy business cards and all that stuff. You just need to start putting yourself out there little by little, and the universe will support you.
Absolutely. I was just having this conversation with a young woman earlier today who, she's making some choices in her life that it's unfamiliar and she's a little, unsure, but I assured her basically what you just said, that when you step out on faith, the universe will come together to support you, to hold you up, and to help you move to the next level.
Yes, but you can't be fearful the whole way, because if you do that, you're sending mixed messages out to the universe. That's confusing. So.
Okay, and so what happens? Like, how do you counter that? Because it's natural to feel fear when you first started off, right?
It is, and as soon as you do, then you have to counter it with, visualization is great, remembering the bigger vision of seeing yourself successful, see yourself where you want to be. If it's in you have your own empire and you have a corner office and people are coming into you, you have to see that, feel it, taste it, everything. So when that negative thought comes up or the fear, remember that it's a lie. So that's a lie that's trying to keep you safe, but ultimately it's keeping you small. So that's not the life that you want. So you have to visualize the bigger vision.
That's good. And earlier, I wanted to revisit something that you said earlier. You said you talked about, I'm sorry, drawing a blank. You talked about your background and that you've come from a corporate environment and that you use what you've learned, your expertise, to run your business. And that was an interesting concept that I heard this weekend, where Doreen Rainey, the founder of the conference, was telling us to learn how to marry our expertise with our passion. Can you speak about that and how you went about doing that, so that women can understand that when you're leaving, because I think that the misconception is that, I hate my job, I want to get away from my job, and you forget about all the things, all the skills that you developed while you were there, and you kind of want to throw them in the garbage and move to your business.
Right. Yes, absolutely. And I've also been an entrepreneur since I was the age of 12, too. So, that's been with me as well. I started a T-shirt business when I was 12. So it goes hand in hand. But the skills that you're using on your job or in whatever form or fashion in your hobbies, those skills can be transferred to your purpose and your passion in life. Just because you probably don't enjoy it because of where you're working or how you're using it, but if you think about it another way or you use it in some other form, then if it comes naturally and easily to you, you still want to transfer that over to going back to your purpose. How can you help people and how can you use it to act with love?
So is that part of the work that you do with women when they come to you and say that they're in transition and they're, do you go into, I'm assuming you do all that, but is that part of what you do?
Yes, it is.
Awesome. I love it. And how in the world, real quick though, Sarah, because this is funny, how in the world did you start a business at 12?
Oh, that was, yeah, I don't know how I came up with that idea, but what I did, I found my own supplier and everything. I don't know where we were. I guess I'm originally from Philadelphia, so we were out somewhere, and we saw a T-shirt supplier or something, and then my mom was kind of, crafty, I guess, so we did one day an iron-on design, and I changed it up. It was a lady with a hat, but I added, some mesh, so it looked like she had a veil, and added earrings and all that stuff, and then somehow, I guess, divine intervention, I was like, oh, I should sell these. And I told my mom what I wanted to do, and she made it happen.
Oh, wow. That's awesome. So you've had the entrepreneur spirit all of your life. And
yeah. Entrepreneur / rebel, do it my way. Yeah, you can some other terms you can put in there, stubbornness, all those other words go with it, but yes.
Well, those are some qualities that we need, right? Because we have to be thick-skinned when we're out there.
Exactly. But that's why I can throw those words out there, because they have no power. They don't mean anything to me. They they don't hurt me. They've only helped me. Because, yes, if I'm passionate about something, I'm going to fight for it, because And if I strongly believe that my way will serve the most good, then yes, I'm gonna fight you on it. I'm gonna stand strong and firm.
I'm totally with you on that. You definitely sound strong and determined, so that's one thing that we probably don't ever have to worry about.
Well, we all have our moments.
Definitely. But for the mom who's still kind of like, oh, I'm not sure, do you offer any type of exploration or like a free session or anything like that with women who are just still, the kind of phases of uncertainty, not really sure where they want to go?
Yes, absolutely. If they go to expandyourheart.org, they will see a complimentary session where we'll spend an hour together just really making sure that you can move mountains and discover your purpose. And we'll, in that hour, spend time creating a crystal clear vision of where you want to go next, as well as uncovering some of the hidden barriers that you don't even know exist, right? They're hidden. So it's, again, a free session, and they can just go to expandyourheart.org and sign up, and I'd love to chat with you.
That'd be great. I hope that everyone's who's listening tonight takes advantage of what Sarah has to offer, because it is so true. It's not just a cliche, or it's not, something you just hear and it doesn't mean anything, but it really is all about your mind and what you believe. And, if you don't believe in yourself, then who's going to? If you don't believe you can do it, then you're not going to be able to do it. So we're just about finished here, Sarah. Is there anything you'd like to leave, any messages you want to put out there for the audience before we close for the evening?
Sure. Just one thing, and we're often told from childhood that it's not all about us, that the world doesn't revolve around us. Well, that's probably the biggest lie. It really is all about you, and how you feel about yourself determines what your life looks like.
That is true. And we also have the power to change circumstances,
yes,
even when it doesn't look that way.
Right, absolutely. You can change it at any time.
Yeah, we're both living proof of that, because, society tells us that we should be not where we are today as single moms. And, I was a teen mom, so for me, even more so. There's no way that you should be educated.
And here you have your master's, so yes. And you're happy. That's the most important thing, Again, wealth comes in many shapes and forms. It's not just financial, spiritual, emotional. Whatever makes you happy makes you wealthy.
Absolutely. I really, really enjoyed talking with you tonight, Sarah. You are truly amazing. And
thank you. You're amazing, too, because I'm just a reflection of you.
Oh, thanks. See, that's why we're connected. See, audience, the universe will support you when you step out. And that's one of the things that I've experienced over the last 2 years of my life, too, is asking for what you want and watching it come to you. At one point, I was that woman who didn't have the support system that I so direly needed, and just, felt lost and lonely, but I asked for it, and slowly but surely, beautiful women like yourself and several other women, my coaches and my consultants, and everyone now who I have in my life have come in, and they're supporting me, and I no longer feel that way.
Hey.
Yes, it's great. So, Sarah, you and I know you have your book coming up too, so you're going to be releasing 2 books this year, right?
That's the plan, yes.
Yes, that is what's going to happen. And we have our book coming out very shortly, Motherhood, Dreams, and Success. You can have it all. And real quick, do you want to share with the audience any thoughts you have on why you decided to be a part of the project, what you hope to impart into the world with your message?
Sure. We can have it all. Women in general, people, everyone can have it all. And having it all is different for everyone else. But this project was totally in line with, my personal mission and message as far as that our situation doesn't have to be a limitation. So I will be, sharing more about my discovery of how I became a single mother, which, like I told you, wasn't really what I had in my plan. So I'll go into how that came about, and it is what it is now. But it was a painful place at the time. But within that pain, I did discover my purpose and my deep desire to be happy and have it all.
Oh, that's beautiful. I love that. Thank you for sharing.
Oh, no problem.
Yes, and thank you in general for being here with us tonight. It was a blessing, and I'm sure the audience is loving everything that they've heard. I'm looking forward to Facebook comments. So if you're listening in on the show and you'd love to contact Sarah, feel free to reach out to her. Sarah, can you give your website and your contact information just one more time real quick so that we can make sure they can get in touch with you?
Okay. You can contact me on the web at expandyourheart, Y-O-U-R, heart.org, or momandchieflounge.com. On Facebook, we have Facebook pages for both of those, Expand Your Heart and Mom and Chief Lounge. On Twitter, there's one spot to find me. It's SRADERSON, so SR and my last name, Aderson. And you can, hopefully, you'll join me at 9 o'clock tonight.
Yay.
At the Mom and Chief Lounge.
Awesome. That's 9 o'clock Eastern Standard Time.
Yes.
Right? And they can just check you out there. And again, everyone, don't forget to go and get your free Heartwork e-course. That's really important. That's only going to help you in so many ways to up-level your life and to also increase your inner worth. So, Sarah, thank you again for being here with us tonight. To my audience, I love you guys for listening. I love you for hanging in with us and being here. And I want you to honor yourselves and acknowledge the time that you've taken today to pour into yourself. Because here at Empower Me Radio, that's what we're all about. We're about empowering you to follow your dreams without feeling guilty and to know that you can feel good about that. Have confidence. Believe in yourself. Know that the dream that's in your heart is there for a reason. It's been given to you. And you'll be selling yourself short if you don't act on it, if you don't take your life to the next level. If you decide to say, I can't do it. That's all a lie. As Sarah shared with us tonight, that you have to believe, and whatever the mind can believe and conceive, you will achieve. So, again, thank you so much for listening. I really enjoyed the show tonight. I hope you got a lot out of it, and looking forward to hearing your comments. You can reach me at erica@momswithdreams.com. You can catch up with me on Facebook under Erica Gordon, and also facebook.com/momswithdreams. And looking forward to seeing you here in 2 weeks, same time, same place. Have a good night.
Bye.
Wow, this was a powerful show tonight. Wouldn't you agree? You got a lot of juicy nuggets. We look forward to seeing you here in 2 weeks at the same time so you can get your next dose of inspiration and empowerment. In the meantime, connect with Erica on Facebook. She will be sure to respond to any comments or questions. You can also check out her blog at www.IamAWomanWithDreamsblogspot.com and www.momswithdreams.com to see what else Erica is up to. Always believe in the magic you can create and the abundance that's just for you.